If you're a software engineer in 2025 and you're looking to quit your 9 to 5, this might just be your fastest way out. Grab your phone, go on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever you can message people on your contacts, and just start shooting people messages asking if they're looking to adopt AI. Tell them to send you a description of what they want, and then what I want you to do is build it for them for free. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can do exactly that. My goal is to show you how you can build fast, quality projects in just hours. Once you have a couple great projects, start getting testimonials. Throw these up on your site, and you throw the projects that you have done as well. Once you have social proof and projects that you can deliver in this space, you now have trust in this space. You're building goodwill, and guess what's going to happen? The people that you're talking to and building projects for are probably going to tell their friends about you. They're going to recommend you. Things are going to start happening organically, and only then can you start charging for your first paid client. Initially, I was going to do this in 24 hours. I'm going to up the stakes up and do it in 2 to 3. Literally went on my phone, I created a story, and I told the people on my network that I would literally do this for free because I wanted to shoot a YouTube video about it to show everyone online that it is possible. I'm here to inspire you guys and to show you guys, if you are a software engineer and you are looking to quit your 9 to 5 job, that it is possible to do this today in 2025 in 2 to 3 hours. Let's get into it. What I literally did is I got on my phone, I created that story, and I basically said, hey, I'm creating this app. It's going to take me 24 hours to do. I'll do it for free, one-time opportunity. Shoot me a message if you're looking for something, and yeah, we can collaborate on it essentially. And so I want to do that so I can make this YouTube video about it so that I can show everyone that it can take 2 to 3 hours to really build something. I said 24 hours. I'm raising the stakes to 2 to 3. And so he literally sent me, so this guy Jesse sent me a message and he literally sent me everything that he wants, right? So it's this huge scope of work. I read through it. It looks great. I kind of scoped it down a little bit. What I'm going to be doing is using Angular and Firebase. That's it. To take this idea and deploy it. The whole idea is to basically consolidate this idea of a project management system that's a modular, so it's able to create different components and be flexible. So if I want to go on and create like the discovery, the project planning, the clients, all of that, I can just create different types of like form builders. So like input fields versus select fields versus radio buttons versus whatever. And I can literally plan out projects as projects come in. And so that's the idea of the project, and that's what we're going to be building. So I'm going to take the scope of work. I'm going to write some code, obviously, but the point is that I want to try and refrain from writing as much code as possible and write prompts. So I'm going to write prompts. I'm going to speak to the AI using Whisperflow and get cursor out and really just have the agent do a lot for me, and I'll go in there and I'll kind of clean things up. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to create the Angular project and create the project on Firebase and get everything hooked up. Once it's all hooked up, we'll get into Cursor. So let's do that right now. Create a Firebase project. This is going to be call it Modular PM. Okay, so I literally have my Angular project built. I'm going to do a Firebase in it to make sure that Firebase is installed within it. Get some GitHub actions going. I gotta create the repo on GitHub too. Let's do that real quick. Okay, so I just created the GitHub repo for it, tied the code to the GitHub repo. Now I'm going to do a Firebase init on it so that I can install Firebase within the project. I want Firebase hosting, I want hosting. That's really all I want right now. Okay, I'm going to use an existing project that I just created. I am going to go down to the modular. There we go. Yes, let's use the existing Angular code base that it found. US Central, we want to do automatic builds with GitHub. It's going to ask me to log in here. Cool, it already did. Go back. That repo, GitHub workflow is fine. Yep. What script should we run after every deploy? I don't really care. Yes, main, perfect. Okay, cool. So we got all that going. Now, let me just run this real quick. Make sure I can run it. And here we go. So if I go to localhost. All right, so we have our Angular project running. Cool. Now, what I want to do is I also have GitHub going. Cool. So the next thing I want to do is make sure if I install this is all good. I want to make sure that this will actually deploy to a site. So let me add everything, GitHub Actions, and then I'm going to deploy to main. All right, so if I go back to my repo, let me go to my actions. There's nothing running yet. There's nothing running. Here we go. Okay, cool. So the GitHub actions are running, which is awesome. So the test here now is to make sure that like my CI/CD is going, DevOps is going. So I basically have an Angular project that's built. It's tied to GitHub. I install Firebase into it, and now I have my GitHub actions that are going to deploy to my Firebase site. And then I'm going to start writing prompts. I'm going to start building the app. I'm going to use his scope of work as context and get this whole thing running. So let's get into it. Cool. So it's done deploying. If I go to hosting in Firebase and I go to this, perfect. We have our Angular app there. So it is running. That's exactly what we want. All right, so let's go back. I gotta stop doing that. Okay, so let's come back here. And what I want to do is essentially set everything that he gave as context. So if I'll go back here, I'm going to take this whole thing. I'm going to tell the AI, I want you to understand this scope of work as context throughout the entire project build. Understand it. Don't do anything. Cool. The first thing we need to do is create an authentication system. Hold on, let's push this over here so we can see this. Actually, the first thing we want to do is create a modern landing page. It must have a hero section, a problem section, a with/without section that highlights the benefits of having this app versus not having it. It should have on the header the benefits that scroll down to it, the maybe the about, then I want a button on the top right that says login, and it will take me to a login page. We must integrate Firebase authentication that will ask for a username, an email and password on a form. Install Firebase. It's already installed. All styling must be done with Tailwind CSS. Make sure to install Tailwind as part of this initial milestone. I'm just going to wait here. I'm going to let it do its thing. Yeah, so I haven't written a line of code yet. and I was able to just get a whole code base up. But I mean that this really doesn't have anything to do with AI yet until now. So what I'm hoping I can deploy in the next hopefully 5 minutes is a landing page and a authentication system where I can then log in and probably view a dashboard and go from there. I also need to go on to Firebase. So let's go into Firebase and we need to enable authentication. So let's do that. Enable email and password. We don't care about anything else. I'm going to add myself as a user. So let's say Jade at jadesilva.com. My password will just be test1234. Cool. That way I can log in to the system. So right now we haven't really done much, right? We've just built an Angular app. We have deployed it. We have basically read a whole prompt. I'm hoping on the AI building this whole authentication system for us. And now in the landing page, I added myself as a user so that I can log in, did that right through Firebase. And then we're actually going to get into building the actual app itself. So let's go back. Okay, looks like it's done. We got some cleaning up to do, so I'm going to go into our environments because we do not have that. And I am going to paste what I took, which is not that, which is project settings. It is this. Just going to copy paste this and put in her. Okay. And then we have some errors here. Yeah, I don't know why it does this. Like, why can't it just do this in the freaking sure. And then we can just change that with year. Okay, that's it. That was the only problem. Seriously? Okay, cool. Let's see how it looks. Wow, it looks absolutely terrible. Like, why is it like that? It's got a landing page. It's got this. We're going to delete all of this because we need the router outlet. So that's all going to be deleted. The router outlet is just going to show the landing page, which is this. Great. So let me look at this landing page. Cool. So it's not using any Tailwind styles. I'm convinced that I need to restart the server. I'm also convinced it's just not just good. Oh my God, it worked. Look at that. Cool. Templates, widgets thing. So here is our landing page. Perfect. And then usually the client will tell us like, hey, let's update this, but I think this is a great start. So we'll leave this. We have the benefits, the problem, the with, without, and then the about. Cool. Let's go to the login page. Great. We also need to update this. Oh, we want to use Angular material. All right, so let's update the UI to be using Angular material. And for this, we just need to get a predefined theme. So let's go Angular material theme. We'll go here. I just want a pre-built-in theme. Let's go pre-built. The pre-built color palettes. Pre-built color palettes, no. Let's go back here. Yeah, we want that. It's looking dope. Like, that's already looking great. We're 25 minutes into this. Goal is to have this done in 3 hours. Sick. it's installing the material icons, which we want. Let me see here. It's using a pre-built-in theme. Good. Let me see the JSON, Angular JSON. Okay. If I go back here, oh baby. See, then it starts to get a little confused because it's doing both, which is fine. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's go to the with without. So let's go on the landing page. We're gonna go with without. We don't need a mat card. It looks a little silly with a mat card. What we're gonna do instead, oops. Let's go back on this. It's just gonna be that, that, and that. So I kept what it was before. Sweet. Get started, log in. Let's go log in. All right, so we have that stupid outline thing. So appearance of outline. Let's go look at that. Take that away. Take that away. All right, and then we need something that just looks a lot better than that. Like that just looks terrible. And I'm convinced it's not bringing in that mat card. It did bring it in. Okay. Boom. So I'm loving how everything's looking, so I'm gonna keep all. I think we just need to put like, okay, so if this is the mat card, right? Then my question is, let me restart the server, just making sure. Because usually a mat card, if I press get started, see benefits, cool. Usually a mat card will like give it like some nice padding. Also, let's bring this over here. So let's go back. All right, so let's just go class equals. Cool. All right. So if I go Jade at jadesilva.com, test 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just confirm what this is doing. So what is this? A signal? Okay, cool. We inject the auth service. Why would you do it there? This to auth.sign in, which uses the auth service, sign in with email and password, returns it back to me. Okay, sick. Cool. Sweet. Put that there. All right, so if I sign in, where does it take me? It's just going to sign me in. We need a dashboard. When a user completes a sign in, they need to be redirected to a, put this over here. Sorry, guys. To a dashboard that, to a client dashboard where they see a list of all client projects, excuse me, of all their client projects and can create a new one. It can create a new one. Each project is a project card. Define models for a project based on the scope of work you know each project has. Yeah, so I think we're there. We're like 15% me coding, maybe. I don't even think I've done much. That's a weird place to put a home button. Also, that with versus without should be like gone. That's kind of a weird thing to place. So I don't want that. I don't need that problem there either. Okay, cool. Let it do its thing. See the models it's creating. So here's a project model. So type of widget, here's the select options. Okay, so like we said, this project basically needs to have a bunch of different widgets. The widgets are essentially just like, is it a table? Is it a multi-select? Is it a drop down? Is it a date? And so every single component is basically like an instance of a widget. And every single client, when they're planning out their project, they should have project phases. So a project has a bunch of phases. A project has a status. It makes total sense. The percent of the progress of completion. A project has a template ID. So we're gonna, oh, there we go, project template IDs. Okay, so here's a project template, which has a template ID, which makes total sense because I'm going to be creating projects off of templates. And then phase templates make the same. Is there like a widget? So there's a widget instance, an instance of a widget. Okay, we can work with that. It's kind of the opposite, but we can work with that. Okay, so let's press keep all. All right, let's go back. So now by going to my login component, it takes me to the dashboard, and the dashboard, is this guarded? No. Add an auth guard to the dashboard. There should really be a layout component that is guarded, and every login route is within that layout component. So basically what I'm telling it to do is that when you log into an app, usually there's like a nice little layout. You usually have like your side nav on the left, you have like a toolbar, and then you have the actual content of the page, kind of like 80% of the page. And so when the user logs in, what we want to have happen is they're basically going to hit that client dashboard page where it basically just shows a list of all the client projects and like a card view, which is essentially the dashboard. But all of this is guarded by some sort of auth guard, which it comes with Firebase. I believe, let's see what this is doing. Is it creating a guard? It shouldn't create a guard. Angular Fire auth. Yeah, it shouldn't be creating a guard. I know that Angular Fire auth has an auth guard. Angular Fire has an auth guard. Use that. Because there's no reason for us to be creating our own auth guard if it already exists. Yeah, I'll switch to the Angular Fire's built-in auth guard. Cool, so here's what it's doing. It's telling us if the user is unauthorized, go back to the login page. If they're logged in, or if they are logged in and they're not on a logged in page, which is essentially any page within this like layout that we're talking about, then redirect them to the dashboard. Let's do it. So I'm going to keep that. We're going to go back here. We're going to say, I want to log in with my account. And let's see what this does. It don't do anything. All right, so what's the issue? It's stuck. Auth service token injection failed. This is inside the login component. I did say, like, why would you do that? Auth. This is very weird to me. Let's do that. Let's take that out. This is still kind of weird to me. Okay, so let's go back. So we'll go jade at jadesilva.com, test 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, there we go. So we're in. So we want to start a new project. So no project yet. Create your first project. Nothing happens. It just logs it. Cool. This probably does the same thing. Sweet. All right. Now, when I want to create my first project, I need to define everything within it. All the widgets I want to use, give the project a title, which is usually the title of the client, and we need to select all the widgets we want. We're going to be using Angular material to we're going to be using Angular material as the widgets we want to include. So when defining sections of the project as widgets, we decide which type of widgets we want to select from Angular material. We also need to define the phases. This needs a proper user flow. Every phase has a name, a position that we can drag and drop and move around, and the widgets within each phase. 36 minutes. We have created authentication. We have seen a list of project. Well, we're on our dashboard. Like all that setup stuff is actually like the longest part. This part actually takes. This is probably the easier part. So let's see what this does. I don't think any of this is like too bad. Okay, so project dashboard. If I go through all of these, so it's like we want to centralize project information for each client in a dedicated dashboard, which we just had that page. Allow creation of reusable project templates. We are going to be using project templates. Okay. So what we're going to be doing, as I kind of scope this down, we're not going to be creating project templates. I don't know, maybe we will. But right now we are just creating a project, and the project itself has a bunch of different widgets. So enable modular project phases and customizable widgets, which is what we're doing now, and we're using Angular material to basically define the widgets. Offer visual project progress tracking across phases, which we will do. Include a form builder to collect client data that auto-populates into project dashboards. We'll get to that. So, system structure, the project dashboard, which is what we are on right now. The master hub for managing individual client projects, the list of active projects. This will be like the list of projects. I don't think we'll get into the idea of statuses of like if a project is active or not active. Maybe we will, if we have time. Project overview cards showing name, client, project. So this is every single project that shows this stuff. Search and filter by client name, project status, or date created. So we can search by client name. Maybe we'll just create that quick filter on a project status if it's active or not, and date created. Yeah, we'll see if we get there. Ability to create a new project from a saved template. Yeah, so again, we'll see if we get there. Each project consists of modular phases, which can be named and customized. So this is what we are basically working on right now. Key features: add, remove, rename phases, which we will do. Reorder phases by drag and drop, which we're doing, and track completion percentage of each phase. Yeah, that's also not too bad either. Okay, cool. So let's go back here. Accepted. I'll add a project creation widget with Angular material stepper, drag and drop, nest in the authenticated route, and wire the dashboard new project button to navigate there. Then I'll lint. So it's gone through all of that. So I had a guarded project creation widget, a project/new with a mat stepper and the drag and drop component. Enter project title and client. Select widgets from Angular material based library. That's going to be sick. I'm stoked to see how it did that. Define phases. That's also going to be sick. Wire the dashboard. New project button to navigate to the wizard. Okay, cool. Nested the wizard under the okay, cool. Next, I can persist created projects to Firestore and load them on the dashboard. Yes, so then we need to actually start saving it to Firestore. Yes. Once a project is created, we need to save to Firestore and retrieve the created ones. All right, so let's go back and see how it did this. Okay, so it's all messed up, I think. No, looks like it's okay. Okay, cool. Create your first project. Didn't do anything. New project. Didn't do anything. All right. Let's see what we got going here. So, Project Wizard is showing a red router link. Let's just turn this to router module. And then here, we got all these little things. Selected widget keys, set. Selected widget keys is a set. Selected widget keys. This dot selected widget keys that includes the key material widget library. What the heck is this? Okay, cool. So how does it know which one to put? All right, so here's the widget library. I don't want to write code. I don't want to write code. I need to tell it to what do I need to tell it to do? If you want, I can add optimistic UI updates and a loading indicator instead of Firestore security rules per user. Okay, so we're not gonna worry about security rules. Yes, don't worry about security rules right now. Want me to add loading states and optimistic updates next? Wow, you're just on it. Yes, please. Okay, create your first project. Let me see that. Create your first project. What does that do? Create project, which takes you to projects new. Is that even defined? Go to app routes, projects new. Okay, it is defined, which goes here, which goes here. So it is defined. It's just this thing that's probably not great. So we will fix this. Yeah, like we can't be doing this in the HTML. So we'll just need a function that does this. So all I'm going to do is on click, and this is just going to be add widget to library, and then we'll just go here and just say like add widget to library. There we go. And then we're going to do the exact same thing here. This one is, yeah, remove widget from library, and then this one will be remove widget from library. There we go. And then what else are we missing? No, that's just because there's nothing else that's wrong. I'm not going to change that to an add for. Want a snack bar toast? Yes, I do. Yes, give me a notification. I want a snack bar. Better not be a toast. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so we have, what do we have so far? So we have the landing page, authentication, our dashboard. We have a list of projects being displayed. We have the ability to create a new project. We're going to see how the wizard kind of handles all of that. And then we have, yeah, then we got to basically go inside each project and just make sure that we can use it. Okay, so I'm just going to stop there. Let me see. So it's saying loading projects and it's failing. It's failing because, why is it failing? Firestore Google APIs, listen, because Firestore is probably not even defined on this project. So let's go to Firestore, create database, standard edition, next, let's start in production. So after we do this, we're just gonna make everything true, first of all. Like, I'm not worried about security right now. Okay. And then basically if we go back, I refresh this, missing or insufficient permissions. Sick. And what a great error, like it doesn't even help me. Firebase error, missing or insufficient permissions. But it shouldn't be because everything here is true. Cool. So this is a Firebase, not Firestore error. Okay, cool. So let's go back here. Now we're just going to take this. Help me with this error. Okay, so we have, what do we have? If I go to my dashboard or our dashboard, and I want to basically await projects. So I want to load the project for the current user. List for current user. We're going to get the current projects. We're going to set it. What? 30 to 60 seconds for rules to propagate. So why don't we just do that? Firebase.json. It honestly might be that it's just not propagated yet. Yeah, it just wasn't propagated. Because this didn't write any code. Cool. So I didn't write any code. There's no projects created. If I create my first project, it's still not doing anything. Create your first project. This is it. Project. Okay. My project is Acme Design. And this is for Acme Inc. Let's go next. The widgets. I want a text widget, a URL, a date picker, a multi-select. Okay, let's go next. Drag and reorder phases and widgets. Cool, so I have to add a phase. Phases in this widget. Oh, baby. Okay, here we go. Phase 1, widgets in this phase, position 1. Cool, add another phase. Phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Cool. So, that's looking sick. Can I delete some of these? Oh, I can just add them. Oh, sick. Okay, we gotta put this here. Sorry. Um, so all I'm doing here is I am creating phases, which UI needs some love. I am adding the widgets in the phase. Beautiful. And then I can create the project. Project has a bunch of phases. Can I drag and drop these? Oh my goodness. Oh, I just did. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep, I can. Sweet. That's done. So I'm going to make the style a little better, and I am going to give us the ability to update the names of the phases. So in the project wizard, we want the ability to update the name of phase. The UI on the phases part of the wizard needs some love. Every phase card should have some padding. We are 50 minutes in. So if I go into the project wizard, so remove, okay, so this is gonna save it. So const project builds a project. So it's gonna create a whole project. Oops. It's gonna create a whole project. And then if I create it, it's going to create it inside there. Project just has a bunch of phases, and phase has a bunch of widgets. Yep. Cool. Now we have to make sure when we're creating projects, it's using widgets and phases, which are essentially templates. And it's the widget itself when we start plugging things in. When we copy paste things, it's not going to copy paste those values. Okay. Let's put you over here. We're going to keep all, I'm just going to keep this over here. I am so sorry. Keep all. Cool. Done. Let's go back here. Let me check it out. So this is Acme Design. design for Acme Inc. Go next. I want this, and the date. Oh, I already have a date. Oh, and it's just like you can't put a date. There's already a date. Cool. Drag to reorder phases and widgets. We need to add a new phase. That looks a little better, but oh, we just need to remove the outline. Okay, so let's remove the outline here. All right, phase one. We're gonna call it phase one. I'm gonna call this, oops. Oh, there's a little bug there. Like it ain't liking that. We gotta fix that. Okay, so every time I enter, every time I change the name of the phase, each character causes a blur effect and doesn't allow me to continue typing. I want to be done this, so it is 54 minutes. I want to be done this in the next hour and have it deployed, have an account created for him, and he can go in there and do that stuff. Okay, keep all. Cool. And we're gonna make it look super dope. Okay. So let's go Acme Design for Acme Inc. And the widgets are so that. Next. Add a phase. This is going to be called the Discover phase. And I want to use the date picker and the matte select. The next phase is going to be called the color phase. And we're going to use the multi-select and the select. And the last one is going to be the end phase. And we are going to put the date picker. But I want to put the color phase first. And I'm going to create this project, and it created it for me. 3 phases with a percentage, the name, and the client. Beautiful. Let's open it up. Doesn't do anything. Sick. Okay, so we haven't built that yet. So log in, right? We need to build a project detail page. We need to build a project detail page for each project. When I go in there, I need to be able to, when I go in there, I need to be able to view the project and have the components slash widgets be displayed the way they're supposed to be displayed with the Angular material widget. We're getting close. Okay, so let's do this. Add, remove, rename phases. So we haven't removed it. Reorder phase, which can track completion of each phase. Okay, widgets. Phases are built using widgets, which are content blocks for collecting and displaying data. Widget features add, remove, reorder widgets within a phase. Rename widget titles, configure field types, and labels. Oh. Hmm. Yeah, so we basically need like a widget collection. So we need to be able to create widgets. Widgets have a type. And then widgets have labels and things like that. That we can then enter. Select which widget fields you want to include on a form. Turn any widget group into a form to send to a client. Generate client-facing link. Pre-built sets of widgets for specific types of phases. Design phase template includes color, fit, font story brand preferences. Combine multiple phase templates to build a reusable full project template. Yeah. Save any configured project as a template, clone templates into new project, edit template structure at any time. See, the problem with editing template structures is people already enter things in this thing. And then you edit the template, like what does that cascading effect have? Progress tracking, phase level progress bars, project level progress calculation, level progress calculation, and then visual status indicators. Okay. So phases have widgets. In widgets, we just need to be able to edit a widget, which we will do within the wizard. Okay, cool. So a project has many phases. A phase has many widgets. We must be able to edit the fields of a widget. Example, the label, what were other things? Configure field types and labels. Rename widget titles. Example, the label of the widget, the title of the widget, like the name of the widget, like so the widget has a type, but it has a title. Example, the label or the widget. So the label of the label, title, etc. Every widget has a type, and we are able to update information that has to do with that widget. This should happen when we include the widgets within the wizard. When we click on a widget, a dialog pops up for us to update the information about the widget. We should be able to add multiple of the same widgets. Okay, so right now we're pretty far in this, right? So we have, not to repeat ourselves, but we have the landing page, authentication, our projects dashboard, the wizard to create projects. We have the way to create the phases within the project and reorder the phases within the project. Now we have the widgets, and we should be able to click on a widget, define all the characteristics about the widget, the label, the placeholder text, whatever it is, define all of that, give it a title, add it to the project. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about this, it might make sense to create the widgets within the phase, not as its own thing. So I'll get the AI to update that. But we'll do that, add it within the phase, and then yeah, so then we have project. A project has many phases, and a phase that has many widgets. And then we should be able to see it. So see where we're at. All right, we're an hour and 7 minutes into this. It is 7:49. Templates and project templates. Pre-built sets of widgets for specific types of phases. All right, what's going on? What is going on? So we have this list editor component is used before its declaration. Oh, no. We need to have a widget editor editor dot component dot html. That's what we need. This widget dialog. All right, cool. So we're gonna take this template and we are going to go here. We're gonna take this, go like this. We don't need that. And we're going to put it here. And then, what's the matter? It's not callable. Why is it calling it? List editor is used before its declaration. Do we have a list editor here? App list editor. Okay, so oh shit, it is right there. Okay. So these aren't pages, these are components. So we're gonna do ngg c components slash components slash list editor. I'm not really sure what a list editor is though. But we're essentially just going to take this, we're going to go here, we'll go here, we'll take this, we'll go here, we'll take this. I don't need any of that now. That's not true. I did need some of these imports. Then we need the cube. And then if I go back here, sweet. All right, so that's all fixed. Okay. So we made a mistake. Because if I go here and I say new project, which is a client, whatever, next. So here, like I've selected the widgets, but the thing is that I don't want to do that. What I do want to do is go into the phases, add the phase, add a widget to the phase, and update the widget. So also, how do I, like it didn't even, all right, we'll go back. Okay, we're going to update the project wizard. We need to define the phases first. Then within a phase, we select the widgets we want to include. When we select a widget, we can edit it. When we select a widget, a dialog should appear that helps us edit the content of the widget. This should be the widget editor dialog. I can add multiple widgets of the same type within a phase. We also need to have a checkbox. No, we're not. We just won't do templates right now. We're just going to do custom stuff. Then we can get templates if we want to. Okay, let's do this. Let's do it. All right, let's see what this did. I'll update the wizard to make phases and add widgets per phase via a menu that opens the widget editor. Okay, cool. So it did some stuff. I removed obsolete widget library state from the wizard and finished the per phase selection flow. Now I'll clean up the leftover methods and unused imports. Okay. Wizard now follows for step 1, define phases per phase, add widgets. Cleaned up old widget. If you want, I can duplicate, delete actions on each widget card and compact widget speed down. Okay, well, let's just see what you did. Let's go here. Okay, so Acme Design, Acme Inc. And then that needs some love. Where is that? It's Project Wizard. Okay, so let's keep all of this. Okay, add phase. Here's what we need. Drag to reorder phases. Like, look at this. This is not pretty. We need to do that add phase. Where's that add phase? This. This just needs like a nice MT4. Have this have some freaking margin on top. Okay, bring that down. When the phase state initialize on the project wizard, the initial state of the project of the phase state should have one phase added to it so it doesn't look empty. We need to make sure we're not creating phases that look empty. It just doesn't look abstract to the user. Let's get that going. Cool. And now auto adds an initial phase if it doesn't exist. Cool. So we have Acme Design. We have Acme Inc. Next has an initial phase. We want to add a widget. I am going to add a multi-select. Title. Okay, this is, I don't know, color choices. Add an item, item 1. Huh, okay. Then you add the key value. So this is what? Color. So this is red, blue, save. Color choices. Oh my God, save. Add another widget, text. Title. New text. Select your text. Select example. A new text. Yeah, sure. Can I order these? So they have position? Cool. All right. I can add a new phase. Phase 2, so discovery. Building. Date picker. Start date. Save. Create project. Okay, sweet. So we have projects being made. We have the widgets. So these are the phases. Sick. Okay, cool. So now what we want is within each project, we want the phases on the left and the content and the widgets as the main page. Use the Angular material side nav for this. All right, let's see what this did. So I took some screenshots from the video he sent me on how he kind of wants it to look. It does look like he wants like forms, so we can do that real quick. So if we're creating a form within a phase, it's really just another level. So a form has many widgets, or a widget is just its own thing. So yeah, that looks terrible. Why does it look so bad? Like I don't understand. So project detail. Okay, so I'm going to commit this real quick. So git add styles, widgets, etc. Git branch. Okay, we need to update the wizard. A phase may have many widgets, but it can also have many forms, and within each form could be many widgets. So the way to do this is just have another level. A phase has many forms, and a form has many widgets. A widget doesn't have a title, a form does. Update the wizard to have that. Here is an image to show you what the project detail page should look like. No, we don't need that. I don't want to confuse it. Just do that. We have about 40 minutes. This is the waste. We kind of screwed up a bit. So a project has many phases, and then the idea was that a phase would just have many widgets, but there's another level to it because within a phase there are like many forms, and a form can have many widgets. The way we're going to like lay it out is just not going to be, it's just not something that we can probably do right now in terms of like when you go into the project detail page, but it's going to look super sick because you're going to have the layout of the project, so all the phases on the left, right? It's going to have this nice theme to it, and then they're going to see everything about the phase itself, so like the different forms and the different widgets within the form that the user is able to customize when they create the project. And so it's going to look super dope. I'm stoked for it, and yeah. So right now we are just updating the phases to, instead of just have a phase that has multiple widgets, it's going to be a phase that has many forms that have multiple widgets. I think that's the right way to go. So we'll keep all that. Let's see what this did. Go back to the app, back to the dashboard. Let's create a new project. So this is, let's just call this Jade's Design for Jade Silva. Add a form. Yes. Yes. That's what we want. A form. We'll basically just have like, I don't know. What did he have? He had server access information. So server access information. And then he had like a text field. And it's just like server instance. Example PG1234. I don't know. So add another form. Form 2. Add a widget. We'll put like a date picker. Label. Today's date. Cool. Add a new phase. Call this client information. This is discovery. We're gonna do form. Call this whatever. Form 1. Notes area. Notes. We're gonna do another form. We're gonna call this form 2. We'll do a select. Oh my god. This is sick. This is so sick. Like, it's gonna look, I know it doesn't really look the best right now, but it's gonna look so sick. Okay, so we have, and you can drag and drop it too. Like, you can just like, oh man. Can I, oh my god, I can move forms around too. And then I can like text. Hold on. Add widget. Give this one a matte select as well. This is gonna be yellow, and just call this yellow. And can I just like, oh my gosh. Okay, so that's done. So if I create this project, so I have how many forms in this phase? So this phase is called client information. This phase is called server access information. I'm gonna do one more phase. We're gonna call this phase research and planning. So we'll call it research and planning. Form 1, research, planning, research and planning notes. Save that, boom, create project. Open. Oh man, it's there. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, cool. So now, um, let's create some like the project detail page. Um, so this needs some love. Make it look something like this. And I took a photo, so I'm just gonna drop this photo in. The phases are on the left, and the phases are on the left. There is always a tracker on every page when we change phases. When we change phases, I would recommend creating a parent component for the project detail page that always shows the phase, the title of the project, and just the progress of the project given the phases. It should also show all the phases within there where there is a circle beside the title of the phase where it is colored in or not if it's completed, and the rest underneath it is the router outlet that shows the widgets itself. Okay, this, along with just like styling the rest of the app, this is it. Like this is it. And then we're basically there. 820. We're close. Project shell component. So if we get this, we nail this, we make sure that the information within the actual widgets is saving, then, and the style looks dope, then I'm going to push this up. And then, yeah, so then basically, all we really have to do, all we really have to do is just finish updating the styles of it. If the styles here look great, and we know that the information was inside each widget is saving, because we've kind of done everything else, then I'm gonna push this up and make sure that we basically hit most of the scope. I did scope this down. There is, things that I just think just need some back and forth with Jesse, in terms of like how he's thinking about it. But so I think we really got like an MVP here where it's enough to get this idea of a modular project management system out there. It's built. We have done this in, 3 hours. And so I think we're really close. And yeah, he might want some stuff to kind of go back and forth on. We might do that. But I'm really, really stoked on how this turned out and how this video is turning out. So fuck yeah. Hell yeah. All right, let's take a peek. I'm really excited. Okay. So, no. Discovery. What's going on? Why is there not like... Um... When I click on a new phase, the page does not update. It's saying that it's a bit tricky, but he'll figure it out. That's hilarious. This is not a hard thing. We have projects, phases, forms, widgets. That's it. Hmm. Okay, so now mode side opened. Let's handle the side now. Nope, wait, hold on. Is there like a mint? Okay, something like this is probably fucking it up. What the fuck is it doing that? Matte toolbar. Hmm. What is going on? All right, so we have some styling issues. Let me see this project shell. And then there's a project detail. And they both have side navs. Well, that's just not right. So, project has a project shell, then project phase, which means this project detail thing, is this a thing? Client progress, loading product, client progress, checklist. Is this a thing? Do we use this? We don't use this. Cool, which means in the project shell, if I go here, see? No, damn it. Why the fuck? Um, okay, but even if it is opened, mat side nav container, mat side nav. Like this. So we take a photo. Nope. Okay, so we're pretty close. We've got um, the project loading, the design phases. We're able to go in there. If I select blue and put some notes, ooh, we've got some error. Oh, nope, that looks like it's just a Grammarly thing. Um, yeah, that's just a Grammarly thing. But if I refresh it, ooh, looks like a little design bug there. Let's go. Client information. Okay, so it's not saving this stuff. Sweet. So what do we need to do? The values. So what do we say? The values that I add within a widget in the project phase page when I show the widgets are not saving. We need to fix that. Also, the design on the project shell is hiding the content of the side nav behind the side nav itself. If this is fixed, it's just UI design. and that is really just a theme, and we'll just make it like a black and blue theme, and I will put the colors from the picture that I have in here, have it do a fresh design across everything, push it up, deploy it. It's 8:38. We're like what, two and a bit in? So we're pretty close. Get this done by hopefully 9. We are almost done. Also, if you guys are not subscribed, please, please, please subscribe to this channel. Like, comment on this video. This is a different type of video that I've done in the past. I've done more vloggy stuff. Let me know if you guys like more things like this. I do love vlogging, so I love to vlog, so I'm going to continue on doing that. But I also love doing this type of stuff. So let me know if you guys like this, or if you prefer more of the vloggy stuff, or if you like both. And yeah, we are like there. Look at this. About to fix this stuff in here inside the side nav component. Yeah. All right, no linting errors found. Come on. Let's get it done. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay. Let's keep that. Let's go. Let's go back. This looks like it's still ain't fixed. You know what I'm gonna do? Because it's just like not happy for me. It's just not happening for me. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to say start ngIf is ready, because it doesn't want to work. And then I'm going to say is ready is a boolean. I'm just going to say boolean false. And then basically I'm going to say this dot is ready is true. And let's see if that works. No, it still doesn't work. Why is that happening? Since when? Since when does that happen? That's like the worst thing that could happen. So if I do an MX auto, which you did already, oh my goodness. Go here, open this. It's got this. It's not pushing it over. Side nav is not pushing over the side nav content angular material. Auto size, is that a thing? Mat side nav container. Huh. I love Stack Overflow. Not even freaking ChatGPT can do that. Okay. Now, research and planning. This is a test. Cool. It saved it. Red. Cool. Saved it. This date. So that's the last thing. Project phase. Color picker file upload Mac card. Checklist. Drop down date. Mat label. This needs to be a mat date picker. We're going to update this to use the mat date picker. So once we have the date picker, then we do the styling. 8:33, it's 8:45. Oh man. Wow, Packers Cowboys. 37-37. Damn. I want to know if Micah Parsons got a sack. Micah Parsons, 2 assisted tackles. That's it. No sacks for the whole team. Wow. Good for the Cowboys. And they have one sack in this entire game. How do you log out? You can't log out. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we go back here, we go in here, we go to today's date. I'm gonna select that date. Cool. Oh, I know. Date pickers just aren't fun. This stuff persists, which basically just updates it. But when I get the project, I want to just do a console.log project because I want to see what's wrong with this date. Phases, we're going here. Forms, we have the title. I'm gonna have form 2, which has the data, which has timestamp. Seconds and nanoseconds. The data is timestamp. So we gotta say the data from Firestore comes in as a timestamp. We need to format it to show in the date picker. All right, we have the date pickers working now. The last thing we need is a logout button. So add a logout button at the top right of the page of the dashboard. And once we have this, we can just do the styling and then we're good. Get this deployed. 8:52. We want to do this before 9. I don't think we're going to get before 9, which is fine. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how fast this thing can style. I mean, it's taken a minute to add a button. Come on. That's pretty crazy. I mean, to get everything up in 3 hours, Angular Firebase, that's all you need to do like a quick little app like this. You know what? What else we need? So if I select and then I do like a test, this should update if all the fields are complete. I think we need to mark a complete on every single form. Like the definition of complete is a little weird. But whatever. It could literally just be like how many, so if I go into like these phases, and look at the widgets, if there's data, what's the config? That's the config, but if there's data, I guess it's like how many of them have data. And that will basically tell us if it's complete or not. And that will tell us if the project's complete. Okay, cool. So if I go back, there's a logout button. If I log back in to silva.com. Okay, sweet. Okay, so now the last thing on the amazing. The last thing we need to do is create a theme. Use these colors, the black and blue, to build a theme using Angular and using Tailwind. $8.55. Let's see how fast it can do this. See, the time obviously doesn't matter. Like, you want to make sure you're delivering really good stuff to your client. We're not just in this for the race, right? But like this is like we're pretty much there. It's like 3 hours in, we're like 90%. We just gotta do this Tailwind theme. We'll deploy it. I'm really, really happy with how this came out. So let's see what this does. It's always a theming that's like the weird thing. And if theming here just doesn't turn out, then what we will do is leave it because all the functionality is there. So you can use utility classes like that. Okay, cool. Okay, so it's done some stuff. Yeah, we gotta fix this. Okay, cool. So it's doing some stuff. Go through the app and make sure the theme is correct. If it's a black background, it should have blue text for headers and white text for everything else. I think we're gonna stop this. Yeah, we're just gonna stop. We're gonna undo all of it, and then we're going to revert back the theme changes. Revert back the theme changes. Oh, if it didn't do anything, then we'll leave it. So stop that. Okay, cool. So we see all of that. The only thing else we have to do, cool. Now the last thing we need to do is make sure the progress is uploading as the form slash widgets have data in them. When a phase is complete, when the data and the forms are complete, then the phase is complete and it updates the project completeness, and it signals that the phase is complete. If the phase gets out of completion, it signals to the project to update its completion percentage. The phase can get out of completion if the data in a field of one of its widgets gets deleted. All right, so let's see if this worked. It doesn't look like it did. Oh, wait, everything is done? Done? Oh, shoot, so if I go like this, this is 67%. I'm kind of liking it, actually. Yeah, that makes total sense. Oh my God, this makes total sense. Yeah. Yeah, this makes total sense. And it shows the completion. Oh, that's so good. All right, we're going to deploy this and then we are going to demo it to the client. So what do we have? Let's go home. We have a whole module project management system that essentially allows anyone to go in with an account that they have created. And once they're logged in, they're able to view all the client projects that they have. They can open them. They can view the progress of them. They can update the information that they have created within the template of their own forms. They can create new projects, give it a title and the client name, and start creating phases where they can add forms and different widgets and actually create the project. This is so sick. All right. Last thing for me to do is just commit this. So I'm just going to call this finished project. And if I go through his docs, we have from the start, centralized project information. We have allow creation of reusable project templates. So this will have to push down, rescope this down. Enable modular project phases with customizable widgets, which we did. Offer visual project progress with tracking across phases, which we did. Include a form builder to collect client data that auto-populates into project dashboards, which we didn't do, but we can, again, scope that down because they can do that manually for now. We have the project dashboard, we have the project phases, we have the widgets, the client data we're pushing, we have the phase templates and project templates, which was pushed. We scoped that down. Progress tracking we have, technical requirements, a web app we have, authentication we have, secure client access. Other than really logging in and having like simple Firebase token auths, we essentially have this. Real-time autosaves we have, responsive UI we have, scalable architecture we have. Incredible. Fully functional based web app we have, admin dashboard for managing clients and projects. Yeah, we have that. Modular phase, and yes, we have form builder, which we are pushing. Staging environment for testing, which that's the easy thing to do, which we're pushing. Documentation and onboarding guide, pushing. Final deployment to production, we have. Success criteria. Create and manage projects. Add phases and widgets. Track progress. Collect client data, which we don't have. We have the rest. Responsive user-friendly interface we have. Secure login and data. Oh, baby. So we've scoped this down maybe like, I'd call it 25%, which is awesome. This is the MVP. So dope. And we've pushed it up. And let's just double check. Go into our actions. This is the finished project. And let that run. Cool, it's done. Let's check it out. Let's go to Firebase. Let me go to the hosting and let's go to, there we go, log in. Jade at jadesilva.com test. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bang. Done. Sick. We did it. Hell yeah. All right, guys, so that is it. 3 hours to build a requested software from someone to get you even further along in quitting your 9-to-5. Really hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe, comment, like, share this with your friends. And yeah, I think I'm gonna do a lot more videos like this. I really like just being at my desk and just coding. So I might do a little bit of that with some vlogging, but I really hope you guys like this one. Again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe, like, comment, and yeah, go write some code. Or maybe don't go write some code, get AI to write some code for you. But yeah, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.